Hi, I thought perhaps it would be good to just briefly highlight a few of the moments in paint that I've been discussing before. So when we're looking at these paintings, I was describing this sort of collage-like way that I compose and juxtapose the ingredients of my walks, you know, the things that I see. So as you can see, there are elements such as deck chairs, seagulls, large raindrops, sandhills, but they're all sort of blurring and moving together. So the figures here are not, you know, they're not necessarily clear. You can't quite tell the difference whether it's a human figure, a dog. The sand dune is sort of taking on slightly anthropomorphic qualities, although I don't particularly like the idea of anthropomorphic because it sort of suggests, you know, the dominant human perspective on anything. But we move up to somewhere else like this. This particular day, there were a lot of footballers playing on the beach. And so that you can see just slight suggestions. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of agitation going on, but you can see, you know, little touches of their shirts. In this particular painting, it was done after a visit watching a gentleman fisherman down at a lifeboat road. But at the same time, there was somebody else there collecting jellyfish. So this whole mixture of the tractors, the jellyfish, there's a part here of this sort of marram field or the marram grass area that has this field behind it. There's a figure looming over the top. You can obviously see there's a slight suggestion of a swimmer here. There were people swimming out into these pools. So everything gets sort of mixed up and interrelated. I quite like the idea that this mixture, in a way, gives the portrait of a particular time and place a sense of energy, as if the eye is focusing at the back, then it might zoom into something else, then it might drift off into the horizon. The colours and the forms may not actually directly refer to something, whilst they might in my mind refer to something specific. It might be they evoke a particular mood. The brush strokes of something can suggest wind movement. The colours, it might be a berry, it might take on the form of a red Coke can, but there's a general feeling of, say, hotness or perspiration. These are all sort of quite internalized feelings and emotions, but they're all a result of an encounter with what I've referred to as the spirit of place. So in here we've got this sort of feeling of weather patterns coming in. I remember distinctly there was a lot of people walking across this particular shoreline, and again we've got images and quite a few others of tents, people emerging from things. There is a plane wing in this particular picture here. That was a day that was, I remember particularly, there's a lot of there was a big fly past of World War II planes. But they've sort of got mixed up with the bones and the laughing characters and the people throwing frisbee on the beach. So this whole thing distills into, you know, quite an energetic thing. All of them, in fact, have this sense of energy and movement. And it's because I feel, even though in the stillness of the place, there is the restlessness of the mind, as we are constantly, or I am constantly shifting attention from one thing to the other. And it's a very sort of transformative activity when you're sort of attending to the beach, when you say attend, when I'm saying attending, in this sort of animistic way, because you're sort of trying to get everything to have a relationship. And in the end, in the painting, that is, I'm giving those ingredients this voice. You can see further up in this piece here, there is a suggestion of sheep, figures, flags. At the bottom down there was, well, actually it was a group of people, and two of them were playing musical instruments. So there's quite a colourful sort of bounciness to this. I was using colour in this way as a sort of notional idea of tones and moods. And so this idea of things floating around, the suggestion of staves, possibly the railway line coming down here. So things have almost ambiguous qualities in these paintings. And the idea is that each time I come back and I look at the painting, it's quite, again, things emerge and disappear in the same way that they are to me when I'm in the actual place. Nothing is actually so specific and isolated. It is it's all about interconnectedness, and I guess this collagic-like vision is a way of interrelating things. Thank you.